Hey, welcome back, heroes. Thanks again for listening to Manny Reads Comics, where I read my comics and then I come back and recap them for you and let you know if it's worth it or not, in my opinion, of course. Today I'm going to do Batman 108, but before I get into 108, let me go back to a few points from 107 that are important, basically, just in case you missed 107. Um, a big point is that Master Wise is in charge of the Unsanity Collective, which is still a dumb name in my opinion. Unsanity is just dumb. But anyways, Molly Miracle is in charge of technology and all their stuff. She has her own glider, which now that I look at that, uh, she's got green and everything. She's got glider. Is she supposed to be Green Goblin here? I don't know. I don't think so, but that's just me. And two, Batman is finally once again being a detective. He is whenever there was a scarecrow implanted in the mayor's house, he's there to check it out, find any clues. Of course, he's interrupted by the cops. Renee Montoya is the new commissioner, and she, they surround him, and this just stops me for a second because I'm like, I mean, he's part of the Justice League. He saved the world so many times. At what point are you going to stop looking at him as a vigilante that needs to be uh, imprisoned or under arrest for any reason? Like, just let him do his job. He's obviously there for you. He's proven it time and time again. There's no need for that, right? But again, that's just another part of the story I just don't understand. And then lastly, it looks like the Scarecrow does truly have Batman captured. When we saw him in 106, I just assumed that it was maybe like a fever dream or just something that's not what it seems. But as we go to 107 and then 108, it does look like the Scarecrow does have Batman captured. It's a little bit of a mystery because whenever we see him captured, it's kind of in the future, and we haven't gotten to the point in the story to where Batman was captured. Last time we saw in 107, we saw Batman going into the Unsanity Collective's hideout to dressed up as Matches Malone. So maybe he gets caught here, um, or in the next issue. But we don't know. It's a mystery that I don't know if I like or not. But either way, Batman 108 opens up with Scarecrow continuing to break down Batman. Batman continuously has to tell himself to ground himself, and anything that he says, Scarecrow comes in and just goes against it. So to me, that tells me that Batman's probably talking out loud, even though he thinks he's thinking. This toxin may have him just speaking out loud, but again, it's not 100% known. That's just me assuming, but that's how it opens up, and then we go into the mayor who's making a public announcement. Uh, One, we find out that the mayor, like, he became mayor under the platform of getting rid of vigilantes, which kind of answers my question, I guess, of why they keep trying to capture Batman. It's all government work, I guess. Um, but in order to kind of make the public feel safe again, he has this press conference honoring Sean Mahoney, who we saw him in Batman 106, and we saw him in Infinite Frontier uh, number 0. He's just the Arkham guard that was there when Joker killed Bane and released his toxin throughout Arkham. Um, he's the one that called it in, and he lost an arm and a leg. But he's honoring him. He's saying that he's a real hero. At that point, we should have honestly known that he was going to become a bigger role in this world, just because, like I said, he showed up in two different comics. When it first happened, I thought that was really cool, kind of because it kind of like set up some continuity. But it looks like this is what it was for. Um, in the last issue, again, Mr. Saint is working for Scarecrow, and Mr. Saint is in this crowd honoring Sean Mahoney, and he looks up and he sees that Scarecrow is watching. So there's something going on here. Um, I automatically assume, and it is answered. So great, I'm on the right track. I assume that they want Mahoney to be the peacemaker that Mr. Saint is creating. They want him to be peacemaker number 101. Um, then we go back to the Unsanity Collective's headquarters, where Matches Malone goes in to try to join them. He's caught immediately. He's held under some kind of uh, cell, and he's got things hooked up to his head. And Master Wise immediately deduces that he's got training against psychics, any kind of mind control, things like that, and it's powerful training. And then some guy named Breaker, he notices that this guy is all muscle. They don't know that it's Batman. They just know it's some random guy, but he notices that this guy's all muscle. At this point, I just don't understand how you don't put two and two together and say, "Oh, this is obviously Batman. We are in Gotham. This muscle bound being who has protection against psychics and any kind of mind control is here, and we don't know who he is." I mean, it's just like, yeah, this is probably Batman, right? But they don't put two and two together. But Molly does. This is when she makes her first appearance. She has got a nice little, like, half a page spread where she makes an appearance, just saying, like, we should take him in anyways. We don't care. I don't care if he's Superman. I don't care if he's a cop. I don't care what he is. Um, we should take him in, because that's what our mission is to bring people in and to take care of others, no matter what their past is. So she is true to the mission statement, I guess you could say. Everyone else is playing it safe, but she really wants to be truly devout to the mission, right? So Master Wise says, "All right, that's fine. We'll take him in, put him under your care. If he does anything against us, it's going to be on you, and you know what you have to do." So I'm assuming there basically means kill him. They just didn't say it. Uh, but Molly releases him, and they start going around the town. But then before we get to that, we are taken back to Saint and Mahoney, where Mahoney reveals that he's got kind of a grudge against Gordon, because Mahoney's dad, grandpa, great grandpa, they were all cops, but Mahoney's dad apparently was fired by Gordon for accepting a bribe. And whenever Sean Mahoney tried to uh, get recruited into the force, he was denied. So it looks like he has some kind of grudge against Gordon, and he definitely has a grudge against vigilantes. So when Saint offers him that position of peacemaker, he jumps at the chance. He doesn't care. He says, "I don't have the money," but it's all free anyway for him. Um, he's excited to jump to it, and that's how we leave him. Uh, Back to Molly and Batman. Again, they're on her glider. She's taking them all over the Gotham, and takes them to a couple of, like, temporary camps, headquarters that they have all around the city, and explains, like, it doesn't matter if you're seeing this or not, because as soon as things go down, we have it set up to where we can just pack up and leave. So they have, like, a nomadic lifestyle. Um, so far, what Batman has learned is that Molly builds the tech, and that um, Wise is erasing the minds of people that join him. He erases their minds and then has Molly build a tech. Uh, and the mission statement, not really a mission statement, but really the Unsanity Collective, the people, they see themselves as those who have seen past society's vision of sanity. So they don't want to be working 9 to 5 for scraps. They don't need these are the people that society has failed, and they have finally realized it and are no longer going to be victims, and are going to do something about it. And as they're talking, Molly reveals that she knows that the person that she's talking to is Batman. This whole time, especially since Batman talked to her over the radio, she said that he basically has the same um, persona. And whenever they were gliding around town and around the city above it, he didn't really have a reaction, and most normal people would, right? So she put two and two together, and I truly appreciate that, because it's so naive to think that you wouldn't just automatically assume, oh, this is probably Batman, right? Um, but she tells him that they didn't target the media companies to scare people on purpose, or like not on purpose, but for a need that they have. It's not their mission, but they were hired by Mr. Saint. And so, like, now that we know that Simon Saint is hired by or working for Scarecrow, now we know for sure that Scarecrow is trying to increase media fear and increase that fear across Gotham. So now it's up to Batman to figure out why, right? And then we get the final page. Mahoney is strapped to some chair. He seems to be in a lot of pain, but he's going undergoing the Peacemaker process. So he's getting the prosthetics for his leg and his arm, and he's going to become the Peacemaker. So I thought it was a good story. I mean, last couple of books that I've been reading there has not been a lot of action, but all of these stories, they're progressing beautifully, they're moving forward, and and I do appreciate that myself. This story does have a secondary little story behind it. Um, in Batman 107, that was the first chapter. It's just Ghostmaker's, like, I wouldn't say his past or origin. It's just like his adventures. Um, we see in 107 we saw Ghostmaker kind of go into onto an island, and there are about 4 or 5 of his villains there, and the main villain Midas, Miss Midas or something like that, Madam Midas, I don't know. She has these villains there so they can all get together, kind of brainstorm a way to stop him. Every one of them has fought him in one point of their career, and they've all lost against him. So she's hoping that they can just gather enough information to stop him. Uh, it's very corny. It's kind of like a parody because he's almost too unstoppable, like a parody of Batman, basically. Um, and at first I didn't like it, but as I read through that first chapter, which is only like maybe 5, 6 pages, uh, by the end of it, I appreciated it and I liked it, and I forgot all about it until this one. This is chapter 2, um, where we left off, he was being attacked by these golden tigers that could shoot laser beams. And in this one, it starts with him taking them down easily. His AI's name is Icon, and I wonder if that's going to be a problem now that the milestone is returning. So there is already a hero going to be called Icon. So I don't know if that's going to like butt heads or not. Either way, this chapter really reminded me of the Batman animated series, the episode Almost Got Him, where all the villains are together and they are just sharing stories of like the time that they almost caught Batman, you know, and it's like Joker, Two Face, uh, Killer Croc's there. I think Harley may be there. I'm not sure, but they're all just talking, and this is what's going on here. In this one, it's mostly this villain called Kid Kawaii, and she is like this robotic creature, kind of like Clayface as well. And she's just telling the story of the time that they fought in Paris and how she was ready in so many different ways to kill him, and yet he had anticipated every single move that she was going to make, and um, stopped her. And that was it. And it ends there. Her advice is, if you see Ghostmaker, go the opposite direction, and that's it. Um, so going past that, that's a good little story, but they're short little stories. Um, Going back to the rating of Batman 108, I would have to give this. I put 7, but I take that back. I want to put 8. I want to say 8 out of 10. Like I said, positive is that the story is progressing. Another positive is Molly Miracle isn't your typical villain. She has not done anything villainous. Obviously, she's creating this tech that's for, again, a, you could say it's a bad group. The most that they've done so far is instill fear into huge media companies, but they haven't really hurt anyone that I know of. So I feel like later on she may become an ally of some sort, because they're really talking up this tech that she creates. So it could be a potential ally, and it looks like that's a theme going on with Jorge Jimenez, the artist. I'm not sure if he created this one, but I know he created Ghostmaker, and Ghostmaker was an antagonist at first, but then now he's not a Robin. We're not going to call him a Robin, but he is a sidekick. Um, Another positive is that the Scarecrow is actually being scary. He's sometime in the future he's going to be controlling Batman in some shape or form, or trying to break him down. Uh, in the present story, he's just in the background. He's watching. He's that thing that's just in the like a constant threat, and he's actually instilling fear. So I really appreciate him not being just some kind of weirdo, and that's it, and that's just his shtick or whatever. My only negative so far is that Saint is working for Scarecrow, because I know I didn't read any of the future state, but like I know that Saint creates the Peacemakers, obviously, and I know that has like a huge part to do with the Magistrate. I don't know much about the Magistrate. I don't know much about anything there, but it to me it kind of dilutes it when this guy who's such a big thing is working for Scarecrow or for another villain. So that's just a negative. If I had to choose a negative, um, a positive slash negative is I don't know yet. Basically, it's the fact that Peacemaker or Sean Mahoney, he's going to have some sort of vendetta against Gordon, or maybe just the police force in general. So depending on how that goes, this will either be a positive or a negative. Um, and then another positive negative, again, depending on how it's revealed, is the fact that Scarecrow truly does have Batman captured. Depending on how he captures him, and how that is going to be revealed, it's going to be a positive or negative. Um, as of right now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a positive. It's a good story so far. Um, Tinian is doing a great job. My main positive, and the reason that I switched it from a 7 to an 8, is the art. Jorge Jimenez and Bruno Redondo, who is working on Nightwing, they have both brought back the half tone, which is basically like in this background, all the dots. The half tone, um, I don't know how to call it. Half tone art, half tone media. I don't know, but I know it's called halftone. That's it. But basically, it's like a very comic booky to have that halftone look, and it was also brought back with Donny Cates in crossover, especially in crossover. That's how you know what characters are um, comic book characters and what characters are like the real world characters. Um, Either way, they've brought it back in a big way, especially Bruno Redondo. He's definitely doing that with Nightwing, and I'm seeing a couple of pages of it here with Batman with Jorge Jimenez. So that's a huge plus. That's always going to be a plus. I think I'm going to say it anytime I see it in a book. And but yeah, that's it. That's Batman 108. If you haven't read it, hopefully this pushes you to go read it. Like I said, 8 out of 10. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. Truly appreciate it. If you're on Spotify, make sure you're following it, get notifications. If you don't have time for Spotify for some reason, or you're bored at home, I do also make these YouTube videos of the same content. So make sure you go there and subscribe and share. Be a true hero. Subscribe and share with friends. All right. Thank you so much, and have a great day.